Okay, good morning, Super.
Good morning.
Morning, Jennifer. Okay, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, I think, for
Yeah.
all of us. And I think this week I actually am a little bit um, fatigued from doing all these walkthroughs, building walkthroughs.
Hmm.
And I thought I'd share this building walkthrough um, today, this morning, because I know building walkthroughs of all the the stuff that happens before you make an agreement with a landlord or a property manager or a board member for to handle a building as either a porter or a super. um, you you have to, it's so critical for you to do that walkthrough of the building, because that's the time that you're going to be able to figure out, things that are important to making sure that you're making a profit, and that you're going to be able to, I guess, number one, before you think about it, is number one, are you able to take on a building like this? Are the responsibilities going to be uh, too much, or will it be enough given the time that you have? The whether you have a job elsewhere, and this is a side gig, you want to make sure that you have enough time to take care of this building and enough energy and focus, and of course that you have the skills to take care of this building, because there's a lot of things that go into being a super of a building. And then you want to make sure that you're going to be making a profit, whether the price that you're quoting is sufficient to take care of your time at this building, to compensate you for your time at this building. So I thought I'd do a sample walkthrough today of a building that we did this, of a building walkthrough that we did this past week. And I got the permission to video record the walkthrough. I was hoping to do it without the building manager, just because then we can have just a clean walkthrough. But the building manager is part of this video. I muted the video so that we can do our own walkthrough. He had a lot of great things to say, and of course he had a lot of great ideas, and he was an active participant in this walkthrough, where he talked a lot about the building and how it works, and all of the things that you wanted to know. But just for this video purposes, I'll just keep him muted, and then we can just talk about the building in itself as if we were doing a fresh walkthrough, and we'll point out the things that you should look for in a walkthrough. So this episode is really about how to perform a walkthrough and what to look for in the walkthrough to make sure that, number one, you're able to take care of the building properly, and that you're being compensated for your time properly.
Great. I've never done a building walkthrough before,
Yeah.
so it's gonna be a great opportunity for me to um, do a rehearsal before I go to a building. It's
Right.
like a virtual rehearsal. And I might be asking very basic questions, so please bear with me. And for you, if you have some of the advanced
Right.
topics or views of the walkthrough, um, please don't hesitate to tell me as well, share with us. So it's gonna be, I'm a little worried that this episode might end up being all over the place, because I'm obviously in the very, very low level of the field experience, and you have a lot of experiences. You're in a much higher level, so
Well, feel free to stop me. And also, I didn't mean to laugh because when I'm like, haha, you don't know anything. I meant to say, I laughed because actually, I want to make this video for everybody, including those who are just starting at the buildings, particularly when you're making your deal, there's going to be a lot of supers who are trying to get into the industry where a building like this is actually, this is a little high, but like a small building, a 5-unit building or 3-unit building is appropriate for them to learn more about being a super. They may not know how to do a proper walkthrough. So I do want to, reach those team members as well.
But just be ready to answer questions like I'll be pointing out a thermostat and ask you, is this a water stop?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Is this like,
so,
yeah.
just please be ready for that. But you
Right.
know what? You feel free to laugh at me. I'll be laughing at myself. But like you don't get any opportunities out there to kind of do this kind of walkthrough or ask stupid questions.
Right.
And I feel very lucky to be in this situation.
Okay, so, and the reason why I was laughing is because I think that, Jennifer, I guess I'm assuming that you may know more just because you you pick out great things in the work that we do, and you do point things that we generally miss. So I'm just thinking. I
appreciate that compliment.
It's having a good attitude.
Positive.
episode 22. Okay, but I thought we'd get started. Just to let you know, this is a building in the Lower East Side, and it's I believe a 20-unit building, so it's like 20 to 22 units or something like that. The reason why, I think when you're doing a walkthrough, basically 20 to 22 units, it's going to be a very similar amount of work. So I don't think the exact number matters, but this is about a 20-unit building, and it's residential. There's 2 stores in the front. 2 stores seem to be closed because of the pandemic. Makes a big difference because when it's not in the pandemic or pre-pandemic, the stores used to take care of their front of the sidewalk.
I see.
So whether it's snow shoveling or whether it was cleaning the sidewalk prior to the sanitation supervisor coming and doing their morning inspections, you had these stores cleaning that sidewalk. But in this case, when the stores are closed and there's no one to watch out for the sidewalk, the super's ultimately responsible for that. So let's go into one second. Let's go into okay. Okay, so this is the building. This was the building manager that who we met. And this is this is a property manager that I thought was very knowledgeable about the building.
Yeah.
And he was extremely responsive. He was able to ask a lot of questions. He knew one of the things that is great is when you go into this walkthrough, you're able to get every information that you have. And he was definitely a person that was able to do that. Basically, how I'm going to show you this building is through a 360 camera. And it's a 360 GoPro camera. And basically, we're going to just take a look at everything that we've seen during our walkthrough. And you may be able to see more than what I saw because we were able to freeze the camera, and we were able to sort of look around. But so I hope you don't get dizzy. So this is the sidewalk. This is the building. Basically, what you're looking for when you get into the building is you're looking for the general sidewalk area because number one, it's going to have to be cleaned every morning. So you're looking at when you're formulating your time and you're determining whether this sidewalk is manageable, you're looking at pretty much the size of the sidewalk. Some sidewalks are much larger than others. This one seems to be pretty average. You see that there's stairs here. So when you do the snow clearing, or you do the morning clearing of the debris in the sidewalk, you're going to look at the area, the surface area that you're going to have to clear. Prior to snow, putting salt down. It seems like the building itself is, you'll see that there is it ends pretty much where the yellow, I don't know if you see it, but the building width is pretty narrow. And you have 2 stores on either side. So you're going to look at that. You're going to look at your responsibility starts at the building. Sorry, let me just switch this around.
A little dizzy, yeah.
Okay, your responsibility starts and stops at the boundary of your building. So you no longer have to clean it or clear snow once it hits the sidewalk of the other building. Okay.
Do I have to clean the stairs?
Yeah, you have to clean the stairs.
I mean, down the ones that are in front of the stores.
That's a great question. That's something that you should also ask the property manager. In this case, you don't have to. It's the store's responsibility, because that's where their customers go. But in our case, and sometimes it may be the super's responsibility traditionally. So you want to be able to check that and figure out whether that's whose responsibility that is. Okay, so as you look around here, you also have to look at the banisters that may have to be cleaned once in a while, wiped down. There's a little bit of chips and stuff on there, so on this banister. So eventually, you may have to paint that railing, that banister, or the what do you call that? I forgot what you call it. You also, as you're going around, you see these tree pits over here. I'm gonna circle them. So in that tree pit, you may have to clean around or inside there. So you want to keep that.
Yeah, I can expect some dog poop there.
Yeah, you could end up getting some dog poop there. So let's see what else could be there.
So in this case, I think I remember, I just want to apply some of the things that I learned from previous episodes, that even if you mentioned about these needing to be painted, right?
Right.
So when I'm doing the walkthrough, I shouldn't say, hey, you know what, I know a really good painter who knows how to do this.
Right.
I shouldn't say that, right?
No, you should just, try to stick with the walkthrough. The purpose of the walkthrough is not to get yourself distracted, mm-hmm. and not to offer him stuff that he hasn't asked for. Mm-hmm. It's simply to focus on whether you can take care of this building, mm-hmm. and whether you've properly priced your time for this building, or that you've properly priced this building in accordance with how much time you think you'll spend. So this walkthrough is for the purposes of seeing whether this building is right for you in terms of how much time it takes, and whether you can actually take care of this building. You have the time and energy to take care of this building.
I see. So then this usually happens after the manager asking how much are you going to charge for this building, and then you do the walkthrough, or is it before?
It could be either or, but you should I think the proper approach is maybe to go there with a blank slate, mm-hmm. and just think about the building, think through the building as you're doing your walkthrough, and then you're going to provide a proposal afterwards.
I see. So I'll keep that in mind. I'm checking out the building if there's anything that's extra or even less, and it could be less than I expected. So it's kind of like matching my expectations with the real reality, right?
Yes,
The real building.
that's a perfect way to put it.
Okay.
And also, it's this is a good time to meet the manager, actually meet the residents there, see how the residents are, see how this manager is someone you're going to have to work with for a long time. So you want to make sure that you can get along with him. So this is a really just a rounded interview of
Right.
of learning about the building, the manager, the residents, the street, the location, because this is actually a busy street. So you may have to be, there's a lot of people walking here, and a lot of people walking and partying means a lot of garbage.
Right.
And you have, of course, the cars around here. So you're going to have to clean out into the streets. A lot of cars usually means that debris piles up there.
Yeah.
So you have to consider that. You don't want that area to look messy. This building, I found out, does have a hose connection in the front, so you can wash down the sidewalk easily. But that's also part of your calculation. You're going to have to do that occasionally, wash down the outside, so you clean up, all the other little things that happen throughout the year, like dog poop stains and
Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
a lot of different kinds of stains.
Right. So we're going to see how this walkthrough works. Basically, he's explained to us things about the building, and let's speed it up a bit.
Oh, talk.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's pull it back a little bit, and then
Okay,
okay.
let's go. Is that virtual doorman?
No, it's called Butterfly MX.
Oh, I see.
And Butterfly MX is a new system that is allows you to use an app to let people in and to let people into the building if they buzz you. It's kind of like a remote.
Remote doorbell that
doorbell,
you can
yeah.
use from your phone.
Exactly.
Oh, cool. See, I learned something already.
Right. So basically, as you're looking at this doorway, you're seeing the tile walls. These are things that may have to be dusted once in a while. But the good thing is that you don't have much moldings there.
Right.
This needs to be mopped. The floors are these little tiles
Tiles, okay.
that can be mosaic tiles that can be just mopped. One of the things I don't like about mosaic tiles is that these tiles are so original to the building. So generally what happens is that they get very dirty, they're scuffed up, and they really lose their luster. And so it's kind of hard to make them look nice. But you can actually, just keep it clean by mopping it, and, keeping it clean will show, but you definitely won't able to restore the luster by anything that you do. Nothing you do will restore the luster. You want to make sure that you clean this glass every day. This is actually a big thing. It has a big glass. They have a netting in the front, so there might be a key or something that you have to do to take off this wire or this window guard, because otherwise cleaning that is going to be difficult.
Right.
So you want to consider that when you clean that window, that glass, you're going to have to take off that glass guard somehow. Maybe unscrew it. It'll take time. It's not just spraying and wiping. The other side, I think, is going to be a lot easier to clean because there's no guard on it. But
I was thinking maybe I can use like chopsticks and.
you also have, I just realized, you have a transom.
I warned you. There's gonna be a lot of stupid comments and questions that I ask you.
That's it. There's no questions that are stupid. So, okay, so you have a transom there too. So you want to consider having to clean that, during eventually or during your time at the building. That might be something that will require a ladder or maybe a long stick. It'll take time, in other words, to do a little bit of time. It's not normal cleaning. You may be able to do that in a deep cleaning or a special job once a year or a couple times a year where you charge a little extra. So we're walking through the building. You can see the tile floor once again is the original floors lost the luster. Mailbox is there. We'll just move away from here. Tile floors again, and you have like these. You have different tile floors, right? One is more recent than the other, which it impacts the look of the building. But if everyone's happy and you're just there to clean, that's all you got to focus on.
So speaking of the mailboxes, how do packages work in this building?
Probably they just drop them off at the building. Someone buzzes them in and they open the door. The courier drops it off into the vestibule, and then people just find it. Probably a lot of lost packages or stolen packages. But that's something that right now every building has to deal with how to control that, because everyone's using these delivery services, and security is always compromised because thieves are attracted to the buildings now even more than ever to get these packages. See those packages over there?
Right.
Oh. So right there is the packages. So apparently they leave it over there underneath the stairs, hidden from view, so that people are able to come down and retrieve their packages.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go straight into the supers area. Actually, the supers area, before we hit that area, we're going to hit the trash area. So this is a common area, trash, refuse area, where everyone comes down and brings their garbage and recycling down, trash and recycling, down to this area. And they have the signs there, which is great.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty clean. It's well lit. You have lights here. And basically it's nice because you don't have to go up and to every floor and have to manage the trash and recycling on every floor, which can take a lot of time. So everything's kind of combined and aggregated for you over here.
I see.
Just going back out there, actually. Hold on. When we just to go back just a little bit, I just want to show you something. One of the things that you do want to consider in a walkthrough, this building doesn't look too bad, but maybe I should do this another time. It's apparently taking a long time. But these light fixtures are LED light fixtures. Mm-hmm. You do want to make sure that it doesn't have to, luckily it doesn't seem like it needs to be cleaned. I'm not familiar with these light fixtures, but there's a few things that you see over there. You see a smoke alarm, smoke detector, and the light fixtures up here. You just want to make sure that those are included, instructions as to what to do with them. Do you have to take them down, clean them once in a while? Do you have to replace the batteries on that? Is that your responsibility? And then usually it is for a super. Take note that you have one on every floor, that you're going to have to change the batteries or replace them. So that was about it. Sorry, just a little detour. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go back outside. Okay, speed up a little ahead. We're going to go downstairs now. And condenser units over there belong to the store, which is right. Tell me if I'm going too fast.
No, I think it's fine.
So basically there's a key that gets into this room. So this is the belly of the building. So you see all of your gas meters here. You have all of your electric meters here, smart meters. It's well lit, which I like. It looks pretty. Aside from aside from these things, you have generally it should be clear of just debris and items and
Right.
personal affects and stuff like that. So these things ultimately need to go, and it kind of makes you think, this do residents have access to this area, or because if residents have access to any area, you're going to have more cleaning to do. If it's your area, then there's less cleaning. So you just want to find out the reasons why. But it looks like cleaning supplies. Maybe it's a contractor. You also want to look out for whether there's contractors in the building, because if contractors are in the building, you may have more cleaning more cleaning that you have to do, like construction dust settling in the hallways and things like that. So looks like a fridge for the store, for one of the retail spaces. So you have the gas meters here. Gas meters seem like it's been either redone or upgraded. I think the electrical meter was all upgraded, which is great, because you want to take a look at the infrastructure, because you want to look at whether there's going to be problems that require you to be there due to an emergency. Let's say old electrical, like old fuses, the screw-in fuses, may need more TLC, 10 to 11 care, than these new electrical breakers. And that might require you to come out on a 2 a.m. on a Saturday because the electricity went out, and to replace a fuse. In this case, you have a breaker. It's a lot easier to resolve, and it also gives you an idea of it all gives you a sense of feeling that the electrical issues at the building are pretty good, because they've been recently upgraded. You also want to take a look around. You want to take a look at where the safety valves are. Has it been tagged? Is it easy to find safety valves around here? I'm sorry, it's not safety valves. When I say safety valves, I meant riser valves, water shutoff valves. See if they're around here. Just in case there's an emergency, you have to turn something off. Is it easy to find? Has it been tagged? Okay, so let's keep it going. So we're just taking a look around. You can see that the shovels, the brooms and the shovels are still, definitely looks new too. So they have relatively new tools for cleaning the building. Let me know if I should speed anything up. I'm just looking around the ceiling right now because I'm looking for valves up here to see if there's any valves that we have that we can see.
What were you guys talking about these gas meters?
Oh, I'm just getting familiar with when the gas piping was done, when this was put in, when any infrastructure was upgraded, to give me an idea of what we're looking for, what kind of building, how the utilities are in the building, how sound are they, whether we have to worry about them. Yeah. Keep an eye on them. So.
Let's move on a little bit.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, so let's move past here, I think. Okay, so we came back around and we're looking at where the shutoffs are, and you can see that. Let me just try to swing this around. You have a couple valves over here. You have that valve over here, which is a gate valve. So you can see that these are kind of old valves. You have to be careful with them because they may not close all the way. So you're just red flagging these things in the future. If you need to shut down water to an apartment, you may have a little bit more trouble than you're expecting with a gate valve. Let's see what else is here. Okay. So you're going to check out, you also want to check out the building equipment infrastructure rooms. This is the boiler room. Okay. So you want to check the boiler room to see if it's been, what shape the boiler is in, because that will indicate whether you're, usually, but not always, help you see if there's going to be any trouble with loss of heat during the wintertime. That will impact your quality of life as you're called out to handle these things. But this boiler looks very new, and it also is a clean room. And it looks like it's very well piped and clearly tagged. So I think it looks like a great boiler room. Basically, he's showing you what the super should be doing, which is flushing the boiler, basically running the boiler, flushing the boiler, getting rid of the water inside the boiler until all the water runs clear and all of the sediments that are clogging the parts of the boiler are flushed out. It's good to see that there's the process being taken care of right there by the manager, because sometimes you might have a reset button that you may need to press, or else the boiler doesn't turn on after you flush it. So you're kind of just doing a walkthrough over here, seeing what the control panels are for how the boiler, what the control panels are, where the oil level gauge is, what kind of boiler it is, whether it's oil or gas or both. If it's oil, you have an oil gauge, which is right over here, which would maybe be your responsibility to check to make sure that you have enough oil in the boiler for it to operate properly. And you're just getting a sense of whether there's anything with this boiler that is going to give you trouble as you take over as a super, and what you need to look out for. There's just going back to some of our early lessons, there's the glass gauge, which tells you how much water is inside the boiler. Those are things that you have to know. You have the flushing valve over here, and you have the on and off switch over here. You have to. The other thing is trying to find out where the on and off switches, emergency shutoffs for the boilers are. And then let's move along. This is the pressure gauge over here. You want to learn what the normal settings are in case anything goes wrong and you have to go down to see what's wrong with the boiler. You kind of can just jump into what the normal settings are and whether it's deviated from that. Okay.
Let's get rid of those circles.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So it also tells you over here, it tells you what size tank that you have, because if you're going to order the tank, you want to be able to know how many gallons it has. And it also tells you what fuel grade it is. Right now it's 2. I think the rest are illegal, so it makes it easier for you. Okay, let's go back. And right behind the manager is the emergency shutoff for the boiler, the red switch that's behind him. Whoops. I'm going to turn this around. So this is the emergency switch for the boiler. Just turns off the boiler by itself. In case anything goes wrong, just run and hit that switch. So you're just noting all these things. Of course, as you start, you're gonna start to record where these things are, but just during the walkthrough, it's good to kind of keep an eye on these things. And that's called the heat timer. It's a control panel for the boiler, so you know that they have a heat timing control panel that will change the boiler settings from winter to summer. You'll have some settings there where you can make the heat come out a little stronger, a little less strong, just stuff like that. So okay, that's a water tank that they had over there. He's explained that a few things about the water tank. So there's light switch over here. There we go, it turns it off. Okay.
Do you have more in the basement?
Well, you have supplies room. You also want to see what kind of supplies they have, where to keep your supplies. Very important to see what kind of workspace that you'll be dealing with. Right now, it's extremely cluttered. So you want to let them know that you might need some extra time. And this is something that you can either charge for free or charge or do it for free. To clean out and organize the section, because you just have a lot of stuff over here. You have old paint probably, you have conduit pipes, you have studs and J-beads and just a lot of construction stuff. You want to be able to also figure out where your important emergency tools are, like ladders. We just passed the ladder. And snake, your electrical snake. Apparently they have one here. So you want to just take a look at what kind of workspace you'd be dealing with. If you need cleaning supplies, where are they found? Okay. So he's going to make sure you see every room. So that you know exactly what's inside every room. So this is also a cleaning, looks like light bulbs, cleaning supplies. I see some drain openers here. So you just want to make sure that you kind of want to separate things. And when I look at this building, it looks like things are all over the place. So in your mind, you're going to say, okay, this building kind of needs a spring cleaning. We need to separate stuff and put like with like, and that might take extra time. So you want to start putting together an idea in your head about whether you want to charge for this extra, whether you want to include it as part of your onboarding. What do you call that? Part of the process of you just adapting to the building. And by the way, is this? Do you think this is a good way, or do you think it's too cluttered?
I mean, it would depend on the space of the building, how much space you have, because there are some materials that you need, essential materials, and the ones that you don't need it everyday basis, but it's some plywood or sheetrocks. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's just plural. I think it's sheetrock.
Yeah. That you just don't want to throw it out.
Right.
Maybe you might need it a few months later when you need to repair and you don't have to go out there. So I mean, if the space in the basement is way too small, of course I guess you gotta decide whether you want this cluttered space, but if you can organize them, you know what's in there, and you can explain it to someone else where things are, and they are able to find it.
Right.
then I think it's okay if it's cluttered, but it's just how you organize those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there could be some times where you're sick and you just can't come into the building. You have to explain where things are to your friend or your
Colleague, yeah.
colleague. Um, so if you know how to do that, I think it's okay, but just don't make it fire hazard.
So no, it's just check for safety. Make sure it's safe, whatever you
Make
do.
sure it's safe and you're able to verbally explain
Right.
where things are, and it's easy for other people who don't know the building to
Right.
find those things. But just piling up things and things and things, no. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And one of the cool things is that you have a restroom. Not a lot of buildings have a restroom,
Right.
especially in the Lower East Side.
Some privacy.
Yeah, and it's has a door.
Nice. That's so true.
That's a plus. Okay, so and I like that. I think just I say this genuinely that the property manager was really pleasant to work with. I think of all property managers, he really seemed to care for the building, as a lot of property managers do, and he knew a lot about the building. So it was a blessing to have him kind of walk us through it. Let's see what else. So we're back in the beginning. So we're just going to. So we're taking a look at the hallways. You want to take a look at the hallways, see how big they are, because you're going to have to clean them, whether they're carpet. Maybe I'm going too fast here. Yikes. Okay, so let's take a look at these floors. So these floors are roughly, it looks like maybe about, just judging from eyeballing it, maybe like 25 feet, 20 to 25 feet. You have linoleum, looks like, for the floor, so it has to be mopped. You have banisters that are, that may need to be dusted. Let's see if there's anything on the moldings. So you may want to like dust those moldings once in a while. So so basically, you're looking at the walls. You're looking at there's emergency lighting up here too. As a super, you're going to have to check these once in a while. Of course, you have a smoke detector there. So keep in mind, you do want to have a checklist, create a checklist for these things. And as time goes by, just to check up on them to make sure that these are working correctly. Okay, let's go downstairs.
We came up from the basement and then...
I guess this video is me having gone upstairs to check the apartments. I guess we're just getting an idea of what we're looking for at this building. Okay, so we're looking at the floors again. Once again, mosaic floors. And this is going to have to be wiped. Luckily, there's no molding on the walls, so the walls seem just painted, skimmed and painted. So it's smooth surface. Once in a while, deep cleaning, you should take clean above these conduits, these electrical conduits, to make sure that they're cleaned. You also want to look at the base molding here. So there's. So basically, looking at molding areas over here need to be cleaned above there. That looks really. It can look really messy. So once in a while, set a schedule a few times a year, maybe just to clean that. Okay, stairs also have to be cleaned as we're walking on the stairs. We're seeing that there are. It seems to be like rubber stairs, which have to be mopped. Okay, so now we've come back upstairs, and we are going to. So we've come back upstairs, and we're just going to retrace our steps. We're going to actually go up to the roof as well. Okay, so we've gone up to the roof. Sorry that we're just jumping there, but I don't think... okay, so basically you want to take a look at the roof because you're going to look for...
Really quick.
oh,
That's blocking the...
right.
So what do I have to look for on the roof?
So basically, you're looking at the integrity of the roof. You're looking at how old it is, whether there's been any leaks up there, because nothing is more frustrating than a water leak that you're trying to troubleshoot from the roof. Sometimes they'll have engineers that help you, but as a super, you generally want to take a look at the roof condition just to see how it is. As a porter, you may have to come in here and clean up the roof if there's any leaves. So I usually come up here to check if there's any trees nearby, trees that could shed their leaves during the autumn time, and clog up drains. Leaves also clog up drains. So I want to get prepared in case any strong rainfall comes, whether I need to go up there and clear the drains. You could see that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that I saw, but basically just seeing how the integrity of the roof is and whether there's any cleaning or any kind of maintenance to be involved there. In this particular case, the manager said that you just need to clear the drains once in a while. There's no trees really around here. Actually, there is a tree. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can speed on through.
So you don't have any, this roof is not a common space, right?
Oh, great point. Yeah, so you're also looking for whether there's a common space that people are using because it's additional cleaning for the porter and the super. So you just want to make sure that that there's no additional areas that in the building that you have to clean because it's a common area, common gathering area. So over here, there is actually a tree in the background over here. I'm sorry, I couldn't get it a little bit closer, but that actually was a source of leaves kind of coming down and blocking the drain. So that had to be looked at occasionally. Okay, so basically, let me just.
Is there a separate entrance for the roof area?
Yeah, you have to go. Well, we'll be going upstairs just to. Basically, you follow this. They have one stairwell in this building. Sometimes buildings have two stairwells, which will cause more work. But
Right.
you have one stairwell in the building, and you just follow it straight up to the top of the building. And basically, what we're learning here is that we didn't see a water meter anywhere, which is where the water comes in case there's an emergency. So we found out that it's actually behind this door. Oh, I'm sorry. We found that it was actually inside the commercial, which actually makes it very difficult to get to in the event of an emergency. But he explained that in this case you had an easy way to get there. So I'm not too worried about what to do in the event of an emergency. And then of course you had supplies and stuff, additional places that you can put your supplies in there.
Great.
Okay, so and once again you're going to find out whether it's your responsibility to clean these stairs to go down, because that is time, or whether it's the responsibility of the retail tenant, the commercial tenant downstairs.
Especially when there's snow and it's icy,
Right.
that could take a lot of time.
Yes.
Part-time.
Exactly. So we're just going to speed through this. Okay. Now. Okay. So.
Is that it?
That's it. I mean, this was a short walkthrough. You think that's okay?
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to make just a quick walkthrough of what you're looking for, but I also wanted to maybe we can just go over what this list is real quick, just to recap what we're looking for. So you're looking for time, the time it takes to clean this building. If you're taking on this building as a working super, or a working part-time super, or a porter, you want to see how long it takes to clean everything on a regular, everyday basis. Everyday meaning the sidewalk. You have to make sure that the sidewalk is cleaned at least every time that you're there. The vestibule, the lobby. You want to make sure your regular cleaning is taken into consideration. Mopping, cleaning glass, the stairwell. You're looking for how many stairwells there are that you have to clean. You want to take a look at the garbage, the trash, and recycling area to see how that area is. Is it easy for you to sort it if you have to, and easy for you to manage the trash and recycling? Is it well lit? Do the residents follow the rules there of recycling properly? You also want to make sure that you have an idea of how much time it will take to clean each landing of the building, which is where the residents walk. Of course, the ground floor is most heavily traveled, and as you go up the stairs, it becomes less traveled as you go up the stairs. So that means that it might require less cleaning on the higher floors than the bottom floors. And you also want to take a look at whether what kind of work needs to be done for your periodic cleaning, like once every month or once every quarter, 3 months, twice a year. And that includes like maybe hosing the sidewalk, cleaning that transom which is above the door, that glass above the door, cleaning the light fixtures. And if you're taking on a super role, you also want to take a look at whether there's how the boiler looks, how the boiler functions, what kind of boiler that you have. You want to look at how you want to review the control panels for the boiler, make sure that you're familiar with that, or comfortable with that in case anything goes wrong. You also want to make sure that you know where the utilities rooms are, like gas and electrical, in case there's an emergency. You want to definitely know where the water main is in case there's an emergency, and also the valves. You want to see if there's a clear idea of where the valves are. Sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes they haven't been tagged and they haven't been maintained by the building. Sometimes they'll say, well, if an emergency happens, just turn off the main, or we have someone in the building that knows how to turn that water to that line off. So your job as a super is to keep eye on that and make sure that you're familiar with the layout of the building so that you can find those valves when it's needed. You do want to check the roof to make sure that there's how the roof needs to be maintained. You also want to make sure that there's that sidewalk, whether there's a lot of trees around too, because during the autumn time, that's going to be a lot of leaves to clear. And if it's a sidewalk, you just want to make sure what your responsibility is with the sidewalk. Is it the retail space? Is it your responsibility? Don't jump in and say that you'll take care of it until you hear from the property manager as to always assume that the commercial is going to take care of it. And just this is how I usually say it. So I'm assuming that that the stores are going to take care of their front sidewalk and clear the snow. And then they'll say, oh, no, it's not. Or they'll say, yeah, it is. So it really limits the work that you have to spend and the headache that comes with it if you have to take care of the sidewalk in front of the stores. And of course, one of the things I didn't show in this video is whether there's lockout keys in case there's a lockout, whether there's keys on site. That's it. I think that's your basic walkthrough. I feel like I'm missing some things because this is the first time I'm seeing these videos after I took them. But
Well,
is there any questions that you have, Jennifer?
I think it's good. It was my first ever walkthrough of a building
Okay.
like this, and I got some good points out about the main system, what to look up for, and there could be some things that might take more time to clean regarding the base charges and stuff. Yeah, I think this video, this episode holds a lot of very basic fundamentals of a building walkthrough.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm sure there are different buildings out there that needs special care, or
Right.
they have special boilers or something. But I think this could be a very standard building.
Yeah, because this is these type of buildings are so many. There's so many of these buildings in the Lower East Side. They're pretty much built the same way.
Yeah.
So it's, if you're going to be, and throughout the city too, I mean, really you're talking about buildings constructed over 100 years ago, maybe,
Yeah.
and that they have very similar, engineering layouts.
Yeah, so I mean there are a lot of walk-ups. So I think this was very helpful for me to kind of what to expect in the walkthrough, and what kind of like atmosphere, like what should I look for, and some of the details you pointed out, like smoke detectors and packages. And I asked you about the doorbell. Some people have virtual doormen, so the super gets to take some of the calls at night, right? If
Right.
it's emergency or something. So those things that you should kind of look out for, and I'm sure it would be really nice to do a walkthrough of a bigger building next time with
Right.
an elevator, because I'm not familiar with those.
Oh, that's a great. I actually have a walkthrough coming up with an elevator.
Yeah.
And I do have that as part of the walkthrough checklist. Elevator, where's the shut off of the elevator, shut off room, where the elevator motor room is,
Right.
just stuff like that. The keys, obviously you may have additional keys that you need to take care of for the elevator that control the elevator. So those are things that we'll definitely take a look at a little bit more. A building that has a little bit more features, because you have buildings with gyms, children's
Right.
playrooms, parking garages, common area terraces or roof
Lobbies.
decks,
Yeah.
balconies.
Yeah, lobbies. We didn't think about lobbies, right?
Right. We talked about lobbies here.
Oh no, I mean like they have sofas and.
Oh, yeah,
tables
yeah.
and
Yeah,
concierge.
yeah, concierge.
Yes.
Yeah, concierge desks, and we could definitely. I mean, those would be like we have to break it into chunks,
Yeah.
but definitely those are some things that we need to look at as a
Yeah.
group.
I think this was very helpful. I might watch it over and over again just to kind of get a sense of how, if I actually do a walkthrough myself, or what should I look for, maybe what kind of questions I have. This is going to be really helpful. It's going to be much better for me to go into a walkthrough without knowing anything.
Right.
But yeah, definitely it was a great session.
Okay, awesome.
thanks
I'm
so
glad it
much.
helped. And if there's any questions or concerns, I'm sure I missed a lot of things because I think I got more dizzy looking at this 360 video than I like to admit. I might be feeling a little nauseous now and have to, let go of my coffee and my breakfast, if you know what I mean. But okay, thank you very much, Jennifer. I appreciate it.